Hello everyone, and welcome back to another Monster Hunter World Iceborne live stream on the PC. We're going to be working on our optional quests. I know you guys are so excited to be working on our art. Actually, wait a second. Talk to the field team leader and we head out to the guiding lands. Let's get that done. I think that's capping our master rank this entire time. So that wasn't very clever of me. Let's get that done real fast. Come on now. Yes, depart. Oh, how cool would it be if I found like a custom minter or mint or whatever the term would be, and I had them take silver coins and mint them into Zenny coins. Would you guys buy that? That'd be cool as hell. I'd buy one of those. Excuse me. Having a sip of my drink here. If you did it with gold, it would be way too expensive. I wonder if you could do it out of like nickel or something cheap, actually. Oh, that would make more sense. Fan says, when is the charge blade? You know, what we could do, Fan, we could put together the defender charge blade. Gobi says, not investing in arena coins? Oh, that's right. We could have invested in arena coins. Nah, arena coins only get used to buy a few things. They're not worth it. How's it going, Scott? Wellick says, won't let me join. That's not good. Error 0. That's not good. Huh. We'll have to figure it out in a minute. I'll do this guiding lands thing, and then we'll check to see what the join code is. How is it going, everyone? Message from Desk Blackout. Tell GE once the stream starts that I'm not going to be around the Discord for a few days due to family, but I'll drop by streams, okay? Okay, that's fine. That's it. I'm firing all my mods. They're all fired. Miguel says, don't their arms get tired from holding onto that rope for ages? Yeah, I'd probably get tired, but if your foot's in the bottom part of it, you know, that actually helps. There's like a loop that they put their foot into. There goes Basil Poop. See you later, Basil Poop. Doesn't even make sense that they're still flying. If you did a move like that, like, how are they staying airborne? Look at them. Do you see how they're like twisting about? You would just fall out of the sky. You would not. It makes no sense. I'm wanting to see Capcom where they're getting their aerodynamic. What did they do? They just disappeared into the trees? They're too large to disappear into the trees. Arson says, I'm here to watch my family-friendly content. That's right. This is a Christian Minecraft server. We don't say any bad words. We definitely don't talk about controversial subjects. We don't talk politics. We don't talk sexuality. All of those things are off limits. It's very family-friendly, right? Make sure that we're very inclusive. It's a Good Friday, Mr. Economist. Oh, very nice. Actually, I think Good Friday is a real thing, and the Catholic Church has something like Good Friday, didn't they? Yeah, it was around Easter. They had a day called Good Friday. Cheese says, will your wall-busting build get me through the Iceborne story? It certainly will, Cheese, and you will probably not die the whole time. Of course, you could go for more damage-focused builds, but then you could possibly go faster, but you would also possibly get stuck on a really tough fight. Samuel says, 2 eagles fighting in the air can stay aloft like that. Oh, okay. Well, I guess I don't think of Bazarguz as like an eagle. He looks really heavy. So does Nergigante. They both look really heavy. GC fired me already? What? How's it going, Master of Kuma? Scott says, I'm good, yourself. Just about to boot up the old 3DS and play some Monster Hunter Generations. That's right. You're finally moving to the guiding lands. I am. Oh, Metalax, good news. I have found some Snorlaxes from that box. I don't know if you remember from that previous live stream, but I had that. I had a Pokemon card lot that I'd purchased privately, and I pulled out a holographic Snorlax and a non-holographic Snorlax. They're both kind of in plate condition. They have some scuffing on the front. But if you want them, I'll sell them to you for very reasonable prices if you're interested. I know you like Snorlaxes, so you'd probably end up wanting to collect it.
Proceed with caution.
Iceborne had an update today. If you haven't done it, others can't join, and I think that's what the error code 0 means. Oh, right. There was some sort of patch for the PC, was there not? I might have to reset my PC then.
Here.
Oh man, following the freaking handler here.
Yeah, that's right.
Tips on leveling, grinding lands. Yeah, so I have two Snorlaxes for you. I have an unlimited non-hollow jungle Snorlax, and I have a holographic unlimited jungle Snorlax. I would probably sell them both to you for just like, what do you think, $12 for both of them? That's pretty reasonable, right? I don't really have a need for, well, actually that's not true. If I was smart, I'd probably keep them in my collection and then sell them for the maximum market rate. I don't know what the market rate on him is. I haven't looked it up, but I know you like him, so I'd be happy to sell them to you for just $12. Both of them together. Okay, find the source of the roar in the forest region. Let's do that real fast, and then we will reset our PC game and see if it goes through a, we'll see if it goes through an update. It probably will. Gameconomist, I want to say your video on longsword builds is awesome. Hope we see more like that one. Right, I should go take a look at it real fast to see how it performed. I've been so busy between my... Did you guys know my second channel is actually doing really well? So I've been putting so much energy into it because it went from being like a fun hobby to like this more serious thing. It's kind of taking away some of the time I would have been spending on this channel. So I got to find the right balance to make sure I'm not excluding my main channel. So, okay, it's at 27,000 views. That's not bad. Of course, the video I posted after it, it reached 42,000 views. So when you look at that as a content creator, you go, well, maybe I should make more of the second video rather than the first one. But let's go ahead and take a look at how it performed with the watch time, because watch time's part of the calculation as well. Yeah, the video actually kind of underperformed. It's just on the bottom lip of performing like an average video. See, that's the thing. It looks like the watch time was pretty small, actually, at about 37% of the video for the longsword video. So just 37% watch time is not very good. Let's check the other one. So the other video got 42,000 views. Go back to it real fast. This the latest one, 10 Things You Didn't Know, got 42,000 views. Let's see what the watch time on that is. Okay, so this one's performing much better. It's on the upper lip of the average performance for my videos, and 65% of the video was watched, which means people were enjoying it much more. Usually 50% is pretty average. Most people watch a video halfway and then they click out. So 65% is pretty good, actually. 65 is pretty good. Yeah, so, you know, when you're a content creator, YouTube gives you all these analytics, and you can look at it and make a decision on where you want to focus more of your time and efforts. And this is what happens. This is how you end up starting a series, and you just kind of, okay, well, I got to work on something else now, because you can actually compare them and say, well, which one's a better use of my time? Patch 10.12.01 is the updated one. Title screen and main menu will show that number in the bottom right. Namdas says your second channel. That's right, we have a second channel where we open up collectible Pokemon cards. Metalax says, TGC, I'm guessing your Streamlabs are closed. Oh my god, I did it again. Yeah, my Streamlabs are closed. I'm guessing you paid for the card, is what you probably did. Hold on, let me jump over there. Whee! I'll take them, says Metalax. Sounds good, man. So I will add those to your outgoing cards after we get to a kind of a slowed down moment here. Maybe when we're... What am I supposed to do here? Return to Celiana. Is that what it says? Okay. Can I return to Celiana? Oh, doesn't let me. Oh, wait. Okay. Any idea for guiding lands without frustration and boredom? And did you even finish guiding land yet for the Xbox? Or you're probably getting tired of it. Like you, I'm very tired of the guiding lands. The guiding lands was a game mode that I think it was an interesting idea. It's basically a glorified expedition, though. And I don't actually find that the Guiding Lands is the best content from a game, from Monster Hunter. The best content I've had from Monster Hunter to date, Extreme Behemoth, a 4-person sort of like very difficult task that requires everyone to be very skilled, Arch-Tempered Nergigante, Ancient Leshen, all of those have been my favorite content. This has not been my favorite content. Oh, cool, we're Master Rank 46. Maybe it had been storing up that whole time. All right, so what we need to do now is we need to restart because I suspect that we have an update. Okay, that's not good. I don't think we're supposed to be stuck on that screen. Oh man, I hope this doesn't ruin the, I hope this does not ruin the stream. Maybe we should have just played without, oh no. Oh no, it says there's no running apps. Oh no. Oh, what is going on? Oh no, guys. I might have to I might have to do a hard reset on the computer. It says there's no running apps and I can't escape this screen. It's crashed. Oh my god. Alright guys, so let me tell you what's gonna happen. We're gonna have a hard reset of my PC, my wife's PC, and then I'm going to try to reboot it all and see what happens. Iceborne PC strikes again. Alright guys, get ready. I'm resetting the PC right now. I don't really know what happens. I don't know if you guys were able to hear me afterwards. So that's pretty shitty. Alright. By the way, let me tell you why doing a hard reset on your computer is so bad for it. Is because a computer is really run by small electrical signals, right? And they have little receptors. And what can happen is when you reset a computer, those little receptors can actually burn out. And when they burn out, your computer, it stops working. So, you know, there's all this cool software, but actually it's all based on hardware. Oh, shoot, we got updates from Microsoft too? Dude. Oh my god, I'm so sorry, guys. You know what I should have done? This is a learning moment. You know what I should have done? I should have just, God, I should have just left it how it is, played single player, worried about it all after the end of the stream. That's what I should have done. I did not foresee this happening. Microsoft's going to update. God, man. You do not deal with this on hold on. You do not deal with this on a console. Let me say that at least. PC Master Race, right? All right, we're still waiting. Can you guys hear me? I assume you guys can hear me though, right? Oh my god. There we go. All right, we're here. Jesus Christ. Oh, well, there's my wife's name. If you want to say hi to her. Okay. Do I know my own password? Perfect. All right. Okay, so we're going through the updates now. Perfect. You can see how my wife's work over here. She's got all her environments and everything. Unity. Yeah, she does a lot of work on the Palico Party website. She hasn't worked on it recently. She's been very busy at her full-time job as a software engineer. But this is the PC she was using to work on until mine broke. Play some Palico Party, says Stone. Well, we actually could go to the Palico Party website. I don't think we're going to do that in this live stream, though. The last name, is that German? Yeah, so Miller is often known as a German last name. She does have German ancestry. Mr. Clean says, what if I'm doing Master Rank Farm and the Behemoth quest is only work for high rank and not Master Rank? Remembers password, proof TCG is not a boomer. Oh my god. So it's an interesting point. Does she do web development, game development, mobile? She can do all those things, yes. Ready to launch. Ready to launch. Let's close this real fast. I'm using a terrible wireless keyboard mouse combination right here. So that's why if it seems like I'm not very good at controlling the mouse, it's not my fault. It's this really cheap, chintzy, terrible piece of equipment I'm using. Okay, we're back up. Sweet. Super sweet. That took long enough. PC Master Race, everyone. Let me know if sound does come through, by the way. Yeah, if you don't hear any game sounds, we're going to have to reset OBS as well. How's it going, Colin O'Melia? Colin? Okay, let's get that session ID back out. Actually, let's see what actually got saved. Okay, I'm still Master Rank 46. So yeah, let's get that. Here it is. There's the session ID. Let me go ahead and reshare it in the Discord as well. I'm going to share it a second time. KBMK BN4M ZDC8. Alright, there we go. And I'll share that to the session ID. Okay, we're finally going. It's like 20 minutes in, and we're finally going. You had it right at first. We good. Colin. Okay, cool. Colin says, you do a great job, and your videos have helped me back into the game on PC, as I was pretty far on console. Oh, I'm glad to hear that, man. PC Master Race. It's the Master Race. Again, I'm using my wife's gaming PC because mine broke after about 60 uses, I want to say. It won't display on television, it won't display on her. It's the exact same model. We own the same computer. Mine's broken after about, again, 60 uses. It's broken. So PC Master Race, and people are like, "Oh, well, you can fix it." Oh, well, guess what? I've never fixed a console ever. I've been gaming for like 20 years. Never had to fix a console. They just last for a lifetime. Never had any problem like that. Ridiculous. I like PC gaming. It's the 60 FPS is nice. I don't have to have 60 FPS. That's my own feelings on it. The other thing I do like about it is you don't have to pay an online fee. That's kind of nice too. But on the other hand, the online's pretty high quality on the console. You don't really run into as many glitches as you do on PC. And guess what? The PC's like 2 to 3 times more expensive than the console. So you don't have to pay for online. You just have to pay for the computer. Have another sip of my drink. 205's like, let me in. What if you can make a game that makes a game, does look good game, and better graphic game on Unity game? What? Audio is good. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started now. Let's knock out these optionals. It jumped us all the way to Master Rank 46. So I believe what was going on is it does store the work that you get done. It just doesn't jump you to the next cap until after you finish that little, that little side bit, the introduction to the guiding lands, right? By the way, fair warning to everyone who's joining, because of the very fast load times, if you're not readied up in time for me to depart, you're just getting left behind. That's not me being mean, it's just because we're going to be taking advantage of the very fast load times in order to get these done. Speaking of which, looks like 2 of us are going. Woo! Boo, the hate man. What? This is what my friend Josh used to blow himself up and his wife. What? Why would he do that? So we're going after one of the worst monsters in the game, Azure Rathalos. Freaking hate that guy. Go ahead and have this real fast. Azure Rathalos is one of the worst fights. He's up there with Kushala Daora and Screeching Legiana, or whatever it's called. He's just one of those monsters that does nothing but fly. I don't know why Capcom has them exist. If you're going to have a monster who flies, maybe let us fly or something. I don't know what to tell you. He's so bad. Are you using high rank? Nani? That's right. I discovered that rather than having to grind for master rank armor, you can just keep using the Draken armor set as long as you're decent enough to not get hit too many times. You've got Master's Touch, Crit Eye, Crit Boost, and Weakness Exploit, which is really all you need. So we're good. I mean, you could add Agitator. Agitator would add more damage, and Attack Boost would add more damage, right? So you could get more damage onto the build with Master Rank armor, but honestly, not a lot more. Wow. 2 seconds in, and I'm blasted. This dude's the worst, man. 4 roars in a row. This is Monster Hunter World. Ice Sport. Another roar. Rathalos is gonna stand up and roar. Those 3 roars. Oh. Alright, there I am. I'm almost dead. Who's he going after? He's going after Johnny. What the? Go away, dude. Probably the most annoying part right now with my build isn't even the lower defense. The most difficult part of my build is almost certainly the fact that I don't have health regen on the hammer because I don't have the augmentations for health regen. But it's like I don't want to health regen augment this hammer because I probably won't use it for the entire time. I'll eventually upgrade to a better hammer, right? So to me it just doesn't... I don't want to spend time on it. I just want to get my optionals done. One, 2. He's like, you know what I should be doing? Flying. Why did it... I didn't want a big bang. Why did it think I want a big bang? Grab the wrong person. Oh, I'm still alive. Come on, Savannah. Alright, so hold on. Let's take this damn robe off. So the Glavenus can be thrown. Oh, but the Glavenus, he's knocked down. Nice. I think somebody got it. I think we were both going for it. Can't hit his face. Okay. I'll hold on. Woo! He's mounted perfect. While he's mounted, I'm gonna get rid of the Glav. Here are my poo-poo pods. Oh, did I just hit both monsters? I did. What a pity. It's the auto-target system, I swear. It's not me. It's the game going, oh, you want to target Rathalos, huh? It's like, no, I kind of don't. Alright, so prepare for him to go toward the boulders next, because that's very likely what's about to happen. That was pretty badly aimed. Nice. Did you see that? That was pretty good. Learning how to control the aerials, the spinning bludgeon, is a really tough part of playing this weapon. The spinning bludgeon is really, really powerful, actually, if you can use it effectively. But that's the trick. It's like, can you use it effectively? Can you? All Rathalos fights are good, and that's the end of it. I'll put that in the book of things Dest said that aren't true. Alright, come on over here, Rathalos. I want to drop it. It looks like it's going to hit him. Yeah, it hit him. Wow, even that's not enough to drop him, huh? This is why this fight is garbage. Nice job flint-shotting him. Oh my god. Alright, that's the Gajalaka. Oh, maybe I should have jumped on him. Oops. How did I get knocked out of my charge? It's so dumb, dude. Get knocked out of the hammer charge way too easy. I'm still in. I'm dead. Thought I was dead. I'm fine. What? It just didn't even affect him. I don't understand. Alright, so my cat's gonna save me now. Char Hammer is better for you because your sharpness uptime is crap. Well, actually, it's one of the reasons why I didn't go after the acidic glavinus hammer. So I know about the acidic glavinus hammer. Of course I know about it. So I could have done one thing or the other. I could have gone after the acidic glav hammer, or I could have gone for the Shar Ishvala hammer. I specifically went for the Shar Ishvala hammer because I like its uptime better. I like its uptime much better than the acidic glav hammer. Dude, this guy's so fucking annoying. How's this fight even allowed? Just shouldn't be allowed. Simple. Let's get this slinger bombs. I'm just gonna shoot him. I don't know what else I want to do. Like, Jesus Christ. This fight's so... I'm dead. This fight's so bad, dude. Azure Rathalos ranks as like probably my top 3 worst fights in the game, along with Kushala Daora and Screeching Legiana, or whatever his name is. Screaming, Icy, Shrieking Legiana. It might be Shrieking Legiana. It's just so bad. Have a max potion. The game is bright, says Assassinator? I will constantly verbally attack you until you understand you can flint shot monsters into Elder's Recess boulders. That's pretty cool. Let's get this Big Bang out. This is what EEUH would have wanted. Perfect. Nice job. Worst fight. Luckily, I felt like we had a number of key things work out for us. We got multiple KOs on him because we had 2 hammer players, which means that our KO damage, you know, kind of, there's a little bit of synergy between us. Luckily, we had the ledge and we got the mount. We got the knock into Glavinus when Glavinus showed up. And we got both boulder drops on him, so the fight could have taken much longer, but that was actually nice and short. Considering he's Azure Rathalos, the fight could have been like 15 minutes. Could have been really bad. Okay, time to kill the locals, even though they helped. That's called backstabbing. Look who it is. It's the guy. He's going to be like, your weapon is number 5 in popularity. Legiana isn't so bad. Screeching, on the other hand. Yeah, regular Legiana. I've never liked regular Legiana, but he's not bad. Screeching Legiana is the actual worst. Is Silver Rathalos not capturable? No, they're both capturable. Both Gold and Silver Rathalos are capturable. They're just tough. They're tough fights. I can easy sub 3 Tempered Rathalos and Elders. Wow, you're so good. Pick this up real fast. Okay, and back to the grind. Nope. Hold on. Trap the Thunderjaw. So we have to capture. We have to capture. Let's go ahead and do this. Just saying that because people are going to kill him. I know they will. They'll be like, oh man, I'll just kill him. Alright, we had our attack up large. Let's head on out. Stand by for departure. Azure Rathalos is a great fight. All Rathalos fights are great fights. If you say a Rath fight is I will hunt you down and murder you. You then feed you to a Lavasiath. How's it going, Zero Elite Gaming? Dest, calm the frick down. That's right. Have your meds today, Dest. Hold on. He's trying to escape to the next area from what it looks like. We don't want him to do that because he's in the center. We want him to come right over here. Alright. Pretty clean. You know, you can actually get more efficient use out of the boulders. I don't really care, though. I actually just want to make sure we actually land them. Oh man, I'm on the wrong side of the head. Alright, well, I'm just going to do this then. Oh, I'm out of stamina. That was dumb of me. Come on. This sucks. I had to hit him twice. Oh, alright. Well, he's in the wall. 1, 2, 3. Alright, we're not going to get that at all. Oh, I'm not going to get paralyzed, am I? Okay, good. Oh, that's too bad. Ouch. That's always fun. Go. Grab this crystal burst. Come over here, booty. Come here, booty, hootie. All right, and he is back down. 1, 2. He's gonna KO very soon. Oof. Perfect time to heal. What is he doing? He's gonna have a turf war? He's gonna have a turf war. Brachydaddy's in this map too, apparently. I saw a Brachydaddy footprint. Roar! Roar! Oh, are they turf warring? It didn't say they were having a turf war. Crazy. Oh, I so didn't want to do that. That would be the KO. Good job on that. Oh my god. All of my moves whiffed because I was trying to hit his head as it swang without actually getting knocked behind the head. Alright, he is mounted. Actually, you know what? I might just give my teammates some time to get rid of Tigrex. Lower your brightness, says Fayed. Really? It looks actually perfect to me. This is too bright? Let me know if it's too bright, guys. Yeah, this actually looks fine to me. Have you guys gotten rid of Tigrex? I think they have. Oh, I see. I got knocked off because he knocked himself over. I was like, did he really knock me off of the mount? I wasn't anywhere close to running out of stamina. Dude, the fucking bird, dude. So tired of birds in this game. Nice job on that. We had the same idea. You're getting KO'd. Oh, that's a roar. Wow, that roar was so fast. Another bird. Oh, he stomped me too. That sucks. Dude. It would be nice to have some kind of healing. Because healing pairs so well with the hammer. We could really heal up from where we're at right now, and then we wouldn't have to stop and heal. See what I'm saying? But we deal so much more damage with the Shar Ishbal, the hammer, than the defender weapon at this point. That is kind of a trade-off between the two. I was getting ready to do it myself. Oh, he did move. God damn it. Oh, that's like the worst spot. He's right. What, the hammer has like a 2-inch peen? Alright, there's a stagger. Oh, he's exhausted. I'm dead. Oh! How's it going, Anime Harem? Thank you so much for the donation, man. He must be close to another KO, I think. Ah, nobody hit him. That's too bad. Alright, well, that's fine. Go ahead and sharpen. Anime Heron says, Safi comes back next week. Are there any weapons you want from him? All of them, I suppose. All of the Safi Poopy weapons. I'm scared to get... I'm going to add this $5 to my stunks. I'm scared to get overzealous about picking up all of the Safi Poopy weapons, because I feel like I learned my lesson from Kulv Taroth. Basically, they release a monster, and then they go, oh man, we gotta make more content. How do they make more content? They basically just released the same monster, but with slightly stronger weapons. So I'm anticipating that happening all over again, and I'm playing the game a lot more casually because of it. Okay, so I'm not so hardcore about collecting every meta weapon. You'll notice I haven't made top 5 videos. I like those videos to be really concise and really have all the information you need, but I just don't have the same perspective of the game that I used to have anymore. So like when I made some of those top 5 videos in the past, they became obsolete because basically Capcom just released new weapons and is like, there you go, now all the old ones are obsolete. And so the top 5 videos, they do really well. They perform well as a piece of content, but they make me kind of more uncomfortable than they used to. That, and I feel like, well, is a complicated issue. I feel like for speedrunners, they're not looking for a top 5, are they? Speedrunners are looking for a top 1 weapon. In fact, the correct weapon for the fight that they're in. And then you have casual players like myself and all of you, or not all of you, some of you, who don't really care about getting like a world record. We're just playing the game for fun. And as it turns out, you're just looking for a weapon that allows you to play the game without having to struggle. You do really well. And thinking that, oh man, this is the top most powerful weapon. The problem is, if you go crazy fighting Safi Poopy for 1,000,000 hours, I promise you will burn out. You'll have a slightly stronger weapon, and then in like 3 months they will release, I don't know, Black Dragon Safi Poopy, and then there will be a slightly stronger version of the same weapon. So that's what that's what I'm anticipating for the future, and I'm not getting super hyped over it. I'm just going to play the game in a way that I find fun for myself. And this is actually fun, talking with you guys and, you know, kind of working on my character here. Actually, I'm intrigued at how fast I can become powerful on PC. It's a very intriguing issue. How fast can we actually become powerful on PC? So, like, for example, realizing I don't actually have to trade in the Draken armor was kind of a big point in some of the experimentation I'm doing here. Just realizing you don't even need to give it up. Like, it's nice to have the Master Rank armor, but really you only pick up the Master Rank armor for Agitator. And then after that, it's just like, you know. Agitator and Attack Boost 4, those are the two things you pick up in Master Rank with Master's Touch. And yeah, that is a bit more damage, you know, I'm not going to lie, but it's not like shocking damage. I really need to figure out the augmentation system out. I believe Fan's Perspective has written a guide. I haven't even looked at it because I'm so busy. I'm going to read it, or he's either done that or he's linked me to a really good guide. I'm going to study that, and then I'm going to do some work probably on my Xbox, because that's the platform where I've done the most grinding. See what I can figure out and maybe relay some great information to you guys. But augmentation in this game was, in my opinion, kind of ruined because they made it too complicated. The problem I have with augmentation now is you have to go into the guiding lands and gather all this material, and there's so many different materials. It's like, I just don't care. I don't care. It's too much work. It's actually less fun because it's too much work. Mastering augmentations, it's like, I don't actually need health regen. I would like health regen. I don't actually need it. I would like a little more damage. I don't actually have to have a lot more damage. It's like, I'm okay. So that's where we're at right now. I liked what they had before with the Streamstones. I thought the Streamstones were fine. I don't know why they got rid of that. The Streamstones was already kind of complicated. It was complicated enough to need an explanation, and it's like, you know what we need? We need to make augmentation even more complicated. And I'm like, do you know? In the end, it's not different, it's just more difficult. It's the same, but it's just more difficult now. Augmentations. Fayette says, tone down the brightness. So there must be something going on with the brightness here, where this is the correct brightness on my TV display, but it's too bright for your PC display. So there's something definitely going on there. I don't want to tone it down, because when I tone it down, I can't see anything. Maybe what I can do instead is actually increase the lighting on my television. Let's see if there's a way to do that. Yeah, it says my TV brightness is actually already put it bright. Picture mode movie? Oh, here we go. Yeah, that is pretty bright. Hold on. Oh, but I know why I have it on these settings. I actually, so I keep the settings, in a particular way so that I don't have eye strain from staring at screens all day, because that's what I do. I stare at screens all day. And so what I've done is I've lowered the, well, I haven't lowered the brightness, but I've changed it in a subtle way to not project so much light. It's different from brightness. And it sounds similar to brightness, but it's a different issue. And I've done that just, again, so that I do not have so much eye strain. You can, like, filter out certain colors, and you can change, like, shadowing and stuff like that on the TV settings. And so that's probably why we're having two different experiences. I can lower the brightness in this game. I actually don't want to lower it by very much. But I don't want it to be unbearable either. How about everyone who is watching turn down their brightness? Well, how many people actually think that is too bright? Can you guys tell me in the comment section how many people think it's too bright? 205 says, I pulled Rowlet and Alolan Executor GX from the Unified Mind Pack you sent me. Oh, nice. I'm glad to hear that, man. man, I'm definitely gonna get interrupted. Oh, nope, apparently not. Oh, there we go. I did in fact get interrupted. Oh. We can trip him if we hit him in the leg enough. Oops. Alright. Time to... oh, there he goes. Oh, that's KO, actually. He's so annoying, dude. Voted most annoying monster 10 out of 10 times. Send this guy with the greatsword flying because he interrupted me earlier. That's the new trick, guys. If you're a hammer bro and you got some guy, he's gonna trip you up. Just send him flying before you go in with your big bang. Level 2 charge will be the brutal upswing, and then you can go into your big bang right afterwards, and that's how you just get rid of everyone. Oh nice, we actually got right up to his head. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nice. Isn't that cool? I like it. I've gotten so much better with the hammer now that I've like figured out, you know, when you're attacking, you... oh, nice. And he's slayed. We didn't even need the trap. A lot of using the hammer, because of the long windup of this move, right? Oops, that's the brutal upswing. The long timing of a move like this means that a big part of using the weapon is just predicting like where they're going to move their head and then aiming there and releasing it rather than going for their head. So you aim where they're going to be, not where they're at. And with the hammer, because it really is a long period of time for that wind up to finish, you really do need to aim far, far ahead. So let's see what people are saying about the brightness. So Samuel says it's fine. I blue light filter on for mobile. It isn't too bright. The contrast looks way off. I lower the brightness on my computer, so it's fine for me. I thought you were fighting a silver Rathalos. It's so bright. Alright. Let's see if we can adjust anything other than the... like, let's see if we can adjust other things rather than just the brightness. Deviant Rathalos has no legs and must always be airborne. What? Alright. Perfect. So weird. You guys are all saying it's too bright, but you know, these were the same settings I had yesterday, and nobody was saying that yesterday. So, but let's see. Those are sounds. Colorblind settings, VSync, frame rate, brightness. I guess it's just brightness. We will lower the brightness a little bit. Tell me if that helps, okay, guys? Oh my god. Black Diablos. Diablos. 205 says, you put a random common crocodile in my pack and I love it. Oh, I might have been using it for like packing or something. I use like spare cards to give protection to the cards that I'm shipping. Dave is like, seems I need sunglasses. you guys, it's probably my TV settings. I really do set the TV up so that I have less eye strain because I stare at screens all day. You know, I manage my channel, I do video editing, I do recordings, which recordings actually require you to stare at your audio file while you're creating it. And then I play games, and then I stream on my other channel. My eyes get tired if I stare at a screen for about 12 to 14 hours a day. So yeah, I do turn the brightness down on my television, and I think what happened is I end up turning the brightness up in the game so I can see it properly. Please turn on the silhouette while you're in settings. We could do that. I normally... No, I don't want silhouette. Actually, I like playing with no silhouette. I like that we don't play with the silhouette. Did you see all the people DC? Did everyone DC? Oh my god, everyone DC'd. What the hell? Everyone DC'd. I don't know what happened. Let me show you that session ID again, okay? I'm going to show you here, the session ID. I don't know what happened. I'm telling you, PC, guys. Frickin' PC, man. Crashes my computer. My main gaming computer broke after about 60 uses. You guys DC constantly. That is PC gaming. That is my PC gaming experience, okay? I'm just being objective about it. That is my PC gaming experience right now. Cost me like $1,000. Console? Like $250. And yeah, I pay about $5 a month for their internet. But guess what? Rarely is there a crash. Almost never. Almost never there's a crash. Alright. I can't believe you pay for internet. It's like, yeah, but also I only paid about $250 for the console. What makes you prefer no silhouette? The silhouette's unrealistic. It turns the game into more of a game. Kind of like the HUD, actually. You know, if they found a way to hide some of the HUD, like the way Dead Space was able to hide the health bar, and the menu display was a projection from his suit, those were really innovative ideas they had for Dead Space. And if they did that for this game, I think that would be terrific, because it would increase the feeling of realism and nature, getting rid of the HUD as much as possible. The silhouette's part of that. I would prefer to go the other direction. Less game-likeness and more realism in a game is good for a game like this. One that's so like highly detailed and cool looking. Oh. Double roar? What the? Alright, so they're all here. Let's go ahead and throw them into a wall now. Oh, I already did it. E-E-U-H. He's already softened. Should have gone for a combo on him instead. Do more damage. Hello, sir. Just wanted to thank you for you guys. Just got Iceborne, and they've been a huge help. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. You're on PC. There will be mods for that soon, probably. You know, one of the things I've discovered about myself is I don't care that much about the mods. I like mods. I just think that I also really like the basic vanilla game. I'm kind of like that on Minecraft, too. So some of you might have played some Minecraft with me in the recent past. Probably about 4 months ago, we had a Minecraft server together. And there's all the Minecraft skins. I actually prefer the Minecraft vanilla skin. That's just how I am. The original game, the way the developers made it. There's a sort of officialness to it that I really enjoy. And for the mods, you know, there's like convenience mods that are kind of cool. For example, one of the mods I really like on the PC is the ability to see kind of like a scoreboard. That's really nice. Yeah, I like that. But other than that, I all the skins, you guys know I don't care too much about having, you know, transmog and all that. I almost don't like the idea of transmog. Eat this real fast. I don't really work too hard on the way my character looks. I just like the generic look. So, PC mods, and I've tried new content with the PC mods. Like, I tried the quest editor mods, right? I thought those were okay, but really all they were was the same monster but with more health and more damage. So yeah, I don't know. I guess the reality is I never really used any mods on the PC. There were none that like got me so excited that I had to have them. They're almost more a spectacle for others. Parts broken. Nice job, everyone. How did I miss? I tried so hard to dodge that, but it's like you just couldn't. I was already in the animation. Oh, Jesus. Alright, we'll go ahead and soften this. Oh, okay. That turns into an aerial attack if he pops up out of the ground. That's an interesting thing to note. Lore-wise, all Black Diablos, I missed it. Do you believe that in general mods extend the life of a game such as Monster Hunter World, or do you think the difference is negligible? I guess it depends on the quality of the mods. So if somebody was able to mod in like an entire fight, an entire quest, I think that would definitely increase the replayability of the game. But that was not actually what I saw from the modding community with Monster Hunter. I did see, what was I can't remember the name of him. There was one person who made a pretty cool mod where they covered the Jagras skin with it was a sort of anglerfish. I can't remember the name of the monster. I ended up fighting him in GU. He has a really goofy name. I just don't remember it. So that one was pretty cool, but you know, when I actually played it, I'm like, okay, this is Jagras except with the skin on it. And I was like, you know, I didn't actually feel like it was a new fight, which shows you how good the developers are. You know, they make quality content in this game. The fights are really good quality content, and it's hard to replicate that in a mod. It really is. I assume it's very, very hard to replicate because you're doing it for free, and you know that not even everyone's going to play it, just people on the PC are ever going to play it, so it's like, yeah, what the devs do for this game is pretty cool when they're monster designing. But it's funny too because it feels always like there's never enough. Just grab the slinger. I had the same idea. Guess we'll just do part damage. Alright, both damage. We got it. Thank you for streaming. Now I'm no longer lonely. How's it going, Agung Arif Rahmanto? I don't know if I said your name right. I probably said it wrong. Nibblesnarf. Gobble. Yes, Gobble. I have seen some mods with new fights, but it's not that good yet. Well, yeah, so exactly. So the mods are cool for visual effects and for cheating. So you can cheat with the mods really well. For example, on the PC, I don't have to farm max potions. I can just give myself infinite max potions. Another nice thing is not having to earn a ton of monster parts. Grinding, right? Grinding in RNG. So back on the PC, I didn't have to grind Kul'Taroth. I could just use a mod and have all of her weapons. And that's pretty cool as well. So you can cheat on the PC. That's one of the more significant mods. The other significant mod is just the fact that you can change the way you look in a way that you can't on the consoles. You know, you can have like cool weapon designs, you can have cool armor designs. Those are the two primary mods. The thing is, if you think about it, the cheats actually reduce the replayability of the game because where you would have farmed, you no longer have to. So that's actually reduced the replayability. And for somebody like me, the way I look is not important at all. So I don't actually care about mods that make me look cool. And I actually consider it an inefficient use of my time in the game, worrying about how I look. Yeah, so it's interesting. I think what I've enjoyed most about PC definitely is the ability to just give myself max potions using mods, and the 60 FPS is legitimately nice. It's not necessary, but it's nice. It's actually very nice. I seen one mod that looked cool. You could buy decorations from the Elder Melder by selling her your waste decorations. Yeah, see, and so that's a cheat, and it actually reduces the replayability of the game because you're getting around the RNG. For people who don't want to waste their whole life grinding for a few decorations. Some people really don't like that, by the way. Some people, you know, there's certain types of reward in a game, and one of the rewards in a game is how long you've played. So for somebody who's played for like 2,000 hours, there's rewards available for that person that isn't available for everyone else. Oops. Go ahead and post new quest. You know, if you play for 2,000 hours, you're going to have most of the decorations unlocked. And this is supposed to be like your reward for having played for a long time. And so when players can come in with the mod and be like, nah, I got all the decorations in like 2 minutes. I used a cheat. The people who invested a lot of time into the game, they're like, come on, man. If you could just cheat, what was the point of it all, right? That's what goes on in their head, I'm sure. And so it really does upset some people. It doesn't really upset me so much. I think it's because I've been gaming for so many years. Inevitably, this game will be obsolete. And then the amount of time you spent farming for decorations really does not matter in the end. You almost realize, oh my god, I was wasting time. I was wasting precious time that I'll never have back in my life. Now, for me as a content creator, this is not just, you know, precious time I'll never have back. I do this like a job, so I don't mind all of the time investment, and it allows me to experiment and learn things about the game and communicate ideas like this particular idea to you. But again, for people who are just playing the game and they really do invest all this time because, I don't know, they're that big of a fan, or they're just that dedicated to collecting every decoration, when you come in and you cheat, they're like, oh man, you just ruined all my work. You just made all my work useless or meaningless. So that's why people get really upset over those kind of cheats. And gaming companies actually have an interest in making sure people don't feel that way. They don't want people to feel that way because you'll be less likely to take their game seriously. Oh, too early. I did it like a second too early. Oh, he threw me off his head. Here we go. Oops. Come on now. We need to throw him into the wall, guys. Oh, he's going. Okay. Whee! Being a third-person RPG, most people enjoy the fashion and looking good. Yeah, strange. Yeah, I think I enjoy more than anything else strategy games, actually, believe it or not. I do like RPGs because there's a great deal of strategy in them, but the fashion aspect of an RPG game was never the important part. It was almost always the strategy. So some games I really enjoyed in the past were, you know, as a kid I really liked Pokemon, the old Pokemon Game Boy games. Those are turn-based strategy games. One of my favorite games of all time was actually Advanced Wars. Do any of you guys remember Advanced Wars? Advanced Wars was the game that Educational Systems, I think that was the name of their software company, right? Was it Educational Systems or Educational Entertainment? I can't remember. It was something like that. They're the makers of Fire Emblem, for those of you who weren't aware. Fire Emblem, those guys used to make a game called Advanced Wars, and I was a massive fan of Advanced Wars. I was also extremely good at it. You know, no one in my family could beat me at it, and I would S-rank everything pretty quickly. So I was a big fan of turn-based strategy Advanced Wars. When I got older, you know, I would enjoy shooters like everyone else, but, you know, I especially enjoyed Mass Effect 3 when they released a multiplayer version of the game where you could play like sort of a horde mode. And I think one of the things that really sold the game to me was that they actually made the horde mode quite difficult. They eventually add a difficulty into the game that's surprisingly difficult. It's a difficulty that wasn't often in video games, which is funny because that's exactly what Dark Souls would do, and that becomes one of my favorite games of all time as well. Dark Souls introduces us to a new level of difficulty in video games that we don't normally have. Although today it doesn't seem difficult at all. Dark Souls seems quite easy. Back then it was actually considered fairly difficult, right? It was like, wow, why would you release such a difficult game? So yeah, difficulty has always been something that sold me on video games, but also just thinking strategically a lot is a big selling point as well. It's one of the main reasons that I enjoy the game. But fashion, no, not really. Fashion was never really at all what I was interested in. Might be one of the reasons why I don't enjoy Fire Emblem so much. Fire Emblem has a lot of story to it. What the heck? I like landed up top. Fire Emblem has a lot of story to it, and it has a lot of like sexy characters, and that's not why I play. So I haven't enjoyed Fire Emblem as much as I enjoyed Advanced Wars, unfortunately. Intelligent Systems, thank you. I wish they would make another Advanced Wars. Their last one, Days of Ruin. Days of Ruin basically ruined Advanced Wars. It did not perform well, and of course it didn't perform well. They basically got rid of all of their mascots for the game. Imagine Mario, except they get rid of every single Mario character, replace them with like edgier characters, and then rebalance Mario so that it's very boring in some regards, and that's what Days of Ruin was for Advanced Wars. It was a huge mistake in the game design, and then they said, alright, well, we can't make this game anymore because it didn't earn us enough money. It was like, well, of course it didn't earn you money. You did a bad job on it. You did a bad job on it. That's your fault. And I do still really like Advanced Wars and wish they had kept going with it and just done a better job. So anyways, on the console, one of my most played games would actually be Halo Wars. Who remembers Halo Wars? So this is an Xbox title, it's not a PlayStation or PC title. The original Halo Wars was a real-time strategy, and I'd never played a real-time strategy before. I was just chancing on a new experience, a new game. I got it from GameStop. I got like the deluxe edition of the game back then. You know, I was a fan of Halo. I thought that Halo was a cool game. It was like Halo 2. The Advanced Wars came out around the time Halo 2 came out, and it was a pretty good time to be a Halo fan. So I tried Halo Wars, and at first I'm like shocked by it. I'm like, what the frick is this? I thought it was stupid at first. But then I started to get the hang of it, and most importantly, I got into the multiplayer. And the multiplayer is competitive, real-time strategy. It's not as complex as a game like StarCraft. It's much simpler. And but at the same time, it allows you to compete and become complex, right? With the, even a game like Mario. The point of a game like Mario is that it's not complicated, and yet it can be made difficult. So that's what PvP was like in Halo Wars, a real-time strategy game that many of you may have never played or heard of. And that is probably one of my most played games of all time. Yeah, it's probably one of my most played games of all time. I was extremely good at it. I rarely lost. I was just really, really good at it. I played it all day, every day, which is what happens when you play a game all day, every day. What do you think happens? You become very skilled. And yeah, it was a game I just played all the time. So if you look at the history of the games I enjoyed, when I was very young, I played an enormous amount of chess. And then I went to chess clubs, and I would basically win all the matches at the chess club. And then I would move on to playing games like Advanced Wars and games like Halo Wars. And when it came to sort of violent video games like shooters and melee games such as this one and Dark Souls, it's the same deal. The biggest reason I like them is the ability to play around with combining skills to make your character more powerful. So it's a catchy and novel sort of novel game mechanic, right? Yeah, it's fun kind of putting things together and seeing how they fit and being like, oh, that was a cool thing, right? The only RTS I did is World of Tanks and World of Warships. Oh, another thing, so I did eventually buy StarCraft, and I played StarCraft for a while. I was getting better at the game, but I actually stopped abruptly, and the reason for that is because I didn't have an appropriate, gaming setup, and I was legit having back problems because I was working, I had only done labor jobs up to that point. I was actually fit, right? But I'd only done labor jobs up to that point in life. And then I had this PC, but I was just sitting on the floor. I was just sitting on the floor with it and the monitor and the tower, and I was playing StarCraft for like 8 hours at a time, and I would just have these advanced back pains because of it, because I didn't have a proper seat. And so I was like, okay, I gotta stop doing this, because my job's already wearing me down, and I'm having immense back pain from the terrible position I'm sitting in with no back support. And if I do this, I'm not going to be able to do my real life jobs. I'm just playing StarCraft, so I abruptly stopped playing it, but I was really enjoying it. All right, who are we fighting next? Yeah, StarCraft was really cool. I'm not surprised at all that it's an esport. Now, maybe if my parents had understood how much I loved games, if I was them, knowing how much I liked games, I would have encouraged me to maybe try and get into actually esports for something like a real-time strategy. I might have been quite good. A game like this is like a reflex game. Although there's quite a bit of reflexes in real-time strategy as well. But this is, you know what I mean, it's sort of like aiming and shooting. That's what this game is like. But the real-time strategy games, I enjoy them so much because you're really trying to figure your opponent out, and you're trying to analyze data. You're managing like a financial economy and trying to be more productive than your opponent. Those are the things I'm actually very good at. And so you would see me do even better. If this game was basically just a strategy game, you would see me do even better. I can get good at aiming a hammer, but aiming a hammer, while it's very fun and I do enjoy it, if you want to see me really shine, probably a strategy game would be where I shine the most. Were you a fan of Command & Conquer? I played quite a bit of Command & Conquer after I discovered Halo Wars. I was not, actually. From what I had read about it, it was like the best real-time strategy. That was the crap I read about it. But when I went and I played it, I was like, dude, this is boring. It was nowhere near as fun as Halo Wars. And then it was not even close to StarCraft either. No way. So I was not a fan of Command & Conquer, even though I did play it. It had its moments. Like when everyone would have some massive fortification, well, not fortifications, but like you'd have like nukes and everyone would have a million tanks. There would be like these funny moments where it's like, wow, there's so many units in play, but it just didn't have the personality and the character of Halo Wars and StarCraft. Not even close. StarCraft was way better, and so was Halo Wars, for that matter. Halo Wars is very accessible, even for casual players. I think that is actually a terrific game. Sadly, Halo Wars 2 came out, and I played it, and I was like, this is garbage. They changed it. They announced that they were making Halo Wars 2. It was one of the most hyped moments for me that year. I was like, oh my god, my favorite game. They're making Halo Wars 2 after like 10 years, but it wasn't Ensemble Studio making it. It was Microsoft Studio. I think it was Microsoft Studio. So the original makers of Halo Wars, that was Ensemble Studio. They made it. It was absolutely amazing. It was terrifically well balanced, and it had a lot of personality. That was the most important part, because I think that's one of the things about real-time strategies that it's one of the struggles for them to succeed is your characters have to have a lot of personality, and your army has to be enticing. Like, you have to see the army and be like, god damn, I gotta command that army, you know what I mean? And that was one of the things Command & Conquer didn't do. It was lacking that personality. So Ensemble Studio, they make Halo Wars, and then they go out of business right afterwards. And of course, they actually go on to form other game studios, the employees of Ensemble Studios. I can't remember what games they get into. They make other games, but they're not as Ensemble Studios. So they go out of business, and Halo Wars 2 is announced like fully 10 years later or something like that. And it's garbage, dude. It's so bad. It's almost like a perfect example of modern games. It has like some loot boxes in them. The characters are shitty cartoony characters. And it felt like it just had no personality and was not fun at all. It really made me sad because I was so ready to... So, we're here playing Monster Hunter together. Let me tell you something. If Halo Wars had been as fun as... Halo Wars 2 had been as fun as Halo Wars, this would have been a Halo Wars YouTube channel. That's what would have happened. But in fact, it was actually very poorly designed. And so, yeah, actually, I have a bunch of Halo Wars 2 videos that are hidden on my YouTube channel. They're private. You can't see them, but I can see them. That was back when my YouTube channel had less than 1,000 subscribers. I think I had less than 1,000. But yeah, they're all hidden on the channel. You can't see them, but I don't know, maybe I could make one unlisted and show you guys sometime if you ever want to see me playing some Halo Wars. Yeah, I was so saddened by the design of the game. Really piece of garbage compared to the old one. Play Arc PvP and you'll know strategy comes from learning how to fight both legit players and how to counter cheaters. Extreme time management. I'm not going to be playing Arc. I've never had an interest in Arc. I don't know why. I've seen it, it just does not interest me. I want to do game design, but my parents say they'll kick me out for that. Abyss Walker, your parents are probably giving you good advice, to tell you the truth. So my wife and I, we went to school for computer science, software engineering, and we both actually play games, and we both had an interest in maybe doing game design, and or working in the game industry. Here's the difficult reality of the game industry. Literally everyone who plays games and then goes into IT wishes they could make games. And they get paid extremely poorly. You get paid half or a third of what you're actually worth to work on a game twice as hard as you would probably have to work if you simply worked for a business that nobody knows about. Okay, so like toilet paper companies. I love toilet paper companies as an example because nobody ever thinks about this. You realize toilet paper companies are a thing, right? Somebody wakes up in the morning and they go and they operate a toilet paper company. You just kind of forget that they exist, right? Because toilet paper seems like such a, I don't know, unimportant part of your existence, but it's not. It's actually really important. Everyone uses it. Literally everyone uses toilet paper. Nobody does not use, well, unless you're like got a bidet and I don't know, baby wipes or something because you're special, but everyone's using toilet paper, right? So these companies, they use software. Of course they use software. Toilet paper companies use software to produce cheaper and better toilet paper. And so somewhere out there is a software engineer who's working on the toilet paper company's software. Maybe they're working on the accounting software, business software, and it's a very boring job, and I promise you it pays very well. It pays really well because everyone forgets that it exists. So you have less competition to get a job in the toilet paper company, the toilet paper industry. But everyone wants to be a video game designer. Literally everyone wants to be a game designer. Oh man, I'm going to be a game designer. Nobody wakes up in the morning and they say, oh, I'm going to go out and work on software for the toilet paper company. It's going to be great. Nobody wakes up and says that. Everyone wakes up and says, I'm going to design games. So let me tell you what happens. This is crazy. And my wife and I just experienced this because we went, job hunting. So the video game companies, first of all, you have to leave your home and move to where they're at. And hold on, I'm hitting Metal X. So anyways, you end up moving to where the game company is at, and then you compete with like a million other people to get the job. And then if you do get the job, you end up getting paid a half or a third of what you're really worth. You end up getting paid like 40,000, maybe 60,000 if you're lucky. And then you discover toilet paper company will pay you about 90 to 120,000 in a fairly short amount of time. So your parents are correct to warn you not to go into game design. It's an overcrowded industry with really harsh production cycles. When they're done producing the game, do you think that they keep all their software engineers? They don't actually. They keep a few of them, and then the rest of them are booted. You're out of a job. You're a contract worker. You get underpaid, overworked, contract worker, probably poor benefits, and then you're out of there. Unless you're really good. If you're like the best, they will probably keep you, and then you get put on the support team or you get put on the next game. And again, you're probably still not making as much money as you should. So if you want to make good money and have a luxurious job, I recommend, don't worry about, are we really done with all these? What the? I don't remember. Did we really finish all these? Anyways, if you want a nice job, I recommend focusing on a nice, boring business company and work on their business software and get paid good money. That's what I recommend. Get paid good money. You will have good vacation. You will have good benefits. You will have double the pay, and you can go home and play games. Some people are dead set on becoming video game artists. Just expect to be poor and overworked. And if your parents want better for you than that, they're probably right. I wanted CS, but my parents wanted a doc law, but I now enjoy it and aiming to be a surgeon. Oh, very cool. Yeah, one of the things about doing a job, People underestimate how much good pay makes them enjoy the job, right? So you're like, ah, man, I really don't want to do this job. But then you find out you're getting paid $70,000 a year. And then you look up your paycheck and your bank account, and you're like, this isn't so bad. The other thing is if you discover you're quite good at it. So let's say you go to school to be a dentist just for the money, but it turns out you're a pretty good dentist and you're getting paid pretty well to be a dentist. It's like, oh, okay, well, this works. Most people, what will make you happy is just breaking into the middle class and being able to buy a Sea-Doo. What do you think about a cheap graphic design degree focused on web design and user interface programming? Probably plenty of opportunity for a job like that. So go for it. Metalax says, TGC, talk to the farmer so you can get your 4th slot. I would, but I don't actually have to use the farmer because I'm on PC, so I can mod all of my items. That's for the console peasants, right? I think we're done. We do need to actually talk. We're going to go around and talk with everyone with an exclamation point to get more optional quests. So we actually will talk with them. New quest. Let's pick up all the optional quests.
Well done. Good to see you.
Alright, we're done talking with him. Do sports as a job. If only it was that easy.
Reminds me. Take care of.
Meanwhile, just sitting here becoming a cook or baker. You ever hear about people who go to school for like rocket science and then they come home and they start a bakery because they realize they're not happy? It's a real thing. It's a real thing. The best kind of work is the work that you can do for like 12 hours a day and you do it better than everyone else. That's the best kind of work. If you can do it for about 12 hours a day and not feel tired at the end of the day, you're in the right field for what you're. And again, it needs to be something that you're better at than other people. That's the important part. What am I doing here? Surveyor set. Yes, exit the tutorial. God, I hate the surveyor set. Why does it even exist? Oh God. I've never touched the surveyor set. It's like this new thing. And I get that they want us to have new things, but I really don't want the surveyor set. How do you mod the items? You can use a cheat. You can, you're on the PC. There's all kinds of cheats you can add to the game very quickly. I'll make you a whole tutorial, and then I will get myself hated by the community for making the tutorial. Alright. Do I have to save that? I think I have to save that. Want to know how I got these scars? I was cutting my dad's wood and pulled a shiny Dark Charizard first edition. Are you going to be on your card channel today? Yeah, I'll probably be on the card channel again today. For sure. That channel actually is having so much success. We get like over 100 people watching now on those live streams, which is really nuts. And I find that I'm able to have a lot of fun having the cards graded and maybe even make a little money when those cards come back graded. So like, I pulled a Cynthia card and just sold it for like $73, which is the market rate for that card. I could have listed it on eBay. And I hope to sell more PSA graded cards. It's something I really enjoy doing as maybe like a little side hustle, is selling these cards. So it's really fun. Okay, let's go ahead and head out. Impeach Gameconomist cheat tutorial. Hey! You can't put me in a peach. I'd rather be working on something I like more than don't, because I have had 2 good paying jobs before, but I hated it so bad that I intentionally didn't put that much effort into it. Yeah, that's a big problem. That is a big problem. If you're not putting full effort into the job, it might not be the right job for you. That always sucks, man. I remember when I was younger, I had worked for Target already for about 2 years, and I remember it was a really difficult struggle to just wake up and go into work. You hit like a wall, basically. You hit a wall, and you're like, I can't do this anymore. Can't do it. But you just kind of have to become numb to it a little bit. I think that's what happened for me. I just kept going. I kept doing my best, and it's like you get stronger. It's like working out at the gym. Everything valuable in life is very similar to working out in the gym. You want to have nice big muscles, you're going to have to be in a lot of pain. A lot of things in life are just like that. Most things, I would say, they're just like that. You're going to have to be in a lot of pain for the things you want. Because if it was very easy, everyone would just do it, and then nobody would pay for it. Does that make sense? So people give you money to do things that are difficult that they can't do or they don't want to do, right? That's how you make money in life, and everyone needs money. So society kind of needs you to go out and solve problems and be useful. And if you can't do that, then you need to be poor. Well, that's what happens in a capitalist society. You know, they say, well, you're not doing anything to help anyone, so you don't get to have a bunch of money. You're not doing anything of high value. Yeah, it's tough. You know, I remember when I was younger, learning about Adam and Eve. That was like a Bible story, right? And talked about them falling out of the paradise or whatever. Which, by the way, a really fun story, if you've never read it, is Paradise Lost. You should read that book. If you don't read it, just go read the Cliff Notes or have somebody on YouTube, like, explain it to you. But anyways, you know, Adam and Eve fall out of paradise. That's like a biblical story. And then they have to come down to earth and, like, suffer. And one idea really stuck with me when I was a kid. I never forgot this. By the way, this is a capture quest, everyone. Just a reminder to the guys in the quest with me, because I'm scared. But I never forgot this, and it was this idea that I picked up really early as a child, where if you want to eat food, you're going to have to farm your own food, right? Because that's what I realized Adam and Eve would have to do. I realized they went from having all the food they would ever need in paradise to now they have to farm everything. And I'm like, well, I think as a kid, I just kind of made that. I was really young, you know, I was like 8. I was kind of making that sort of logical realization where you're always going to need to eat, because if you don't eat, you're going to starve to death, and that means you're always going to have to work. And it was just sort of this, I don't know, sort of doomed feeling, like you're doomed to work. You know, because we talk about how children don't really appreciate how much work their parents do, and then they go to college and they're like, gosh, I hope everything's going to be free. Wait a second, you're not who I want. I went the wrong way. People want everything given to them, essentially, but it's like, no, the reality is, at the very core, at the very root of living and surviving, you have to do your own farming and make your own food. Nature demands it. Reality demands it. And in modern society, we have very sophisticated ways for you to earn your own food. For example, you might be a streamer on YouTube and somebody might make a donation to you because you're keeping them entertained. Which, by the way, entertainment's very valuable. I love entertainment. Entertainment's awesome. It's like the sign of prosperity. But yeah, so, you know, you have to do some sort of work to feed yourself every day. And that was that sort of really basic realization I had as a kid, where I realized being an adult meant going out and working a sort of hypothetical farm. The farm could be whatever it is your career is, right? So that was one of those very early realizations I had. And I kind of realized it was sort of tragic in a way, because humans don't want to. You know what I mean? We all want to be comfortable. You know, as a kid, I just sort of very intuitively understood everyone would rather be laying on the beach. Everyone would definitely rather be laying on the beach rather than, you know, dealing with, oh, come on, man, attack his head. Rather than having to deal with maintaining a hypothetical farm of some sort, a career, everyone would much rather be laying around, scratching their balls, having a pina colada, right? And whatever, smoking a blunt, whatever you guys do for fun. Alright, there we go. Yeah, so just on the offset, life's kind of a... Civilization has kept us so soft and so comfortable, but it's like, when you get back to the core of reality, we still live in a reality where you just have to wake up and go to work every day and suffer, and that's it. You just have to suffer. It's a part of reality. And we hate it, and none of us want it. We hate it, none of us want it. Paradise would be See, that's sort of the idea in this thought that I had as a child. Paradise would be if you didn't have to go to work every day. That would be paradise. And the whole point of the story of Adam and Eve is that they're no longer in it. They're out of paradise now. Now they have to go to work every day. Yeah. Really basic framing for a kid to understand those kind of ideas. You know, that's why we get addicted to ideas like heaven, where it's like, well, now you don't have to go to work, you don't suffer, you don't die, you don't get sick. It's all the things we hate as humans, all the terrible things, all the tragic things about life. Technically, if Adam and Eve were the first, then we're all incest babies. That's right. Scratching balls, smoking a blunt, having a pina colada is my new way of life. Right? Clicking on an app and it rubs your balls for you. Something crazy like that. But, you know, is remarkable, I guess you could say, how quickly our society has become very close to a paradise. Think about it. I mean, just in the 1800s, not too long ago, you walked around with like, Red Dead Redemption is such a great example. I think that's one of the reasons the game was so fun, is because the game was historical. You didn't have cars. You didn't have air conditioning. You didn't have a refrigerator. You didn't have the internet. You didn't have contraceptives. You had violent wars. If somebody wanted to, they could probably kill you and not get caught by the cops because you didn't have DNA evidence. You didn't have any of that. It was really, literally a Wild West. And we've become so civilized so quickly. Just 100 years later, we're extremely civilized. And I think it's easy for us to get out of touch with reality of how the world actually is, because the civilization kind of works as a barrier between you and reality. It sort of works as a barrier. It says you could do anything. It's like you could do some things. We have technology for some things. You can't do anything though. We're not quite there. We're not quite in a paradise yet. David says, God's an asshole. He kicked Adam and Eve out because they gained knowledge. That's right. You're not allowed to be knowledgeable. You gotta be the whole concept. Yeah, I know. We could go on a woke, atheist, autistic, religious conversation if you guys wanted. I'll thump my atheist Bible. I'll be like, checkmate, Christians. And you can all cringe. Cringe. Oh, he's so woke. Yeah. You know, it's funny. When I was younger, it was really important for my parents to teach me how to debate on behalf of Catholicism. I was meant to, like, protect the religion. And I did actually, at a very young age, engage in, like, internet debates, and I would be arguing all the time. So right away, I would start debating politics and religion as a child because my parents were very interested in teaching me that. They thought I was going to be like a priest or something, right? Because I was usually pretty good in the family. You couldn't argue with me because I would pretty much win. I was persuasive. It wasn't just about arguing. It was about being persuasive. So they wanted me to be good at arguing. And there was this point in life where I left Catholicism. And what really changed my mind was not logic necessarily. It wasn't argument. It was comedy. Comedy actually, I would say, was the thing that actually changed my mind. Isn't that interesting? Comedy made me change my mind on religion. It wasn't, oh man, I'm perfect, facts and logic. We destroyed the liberals. It was comedy. Comedy actually changed my mind. And I'm the kind of person that really does appreciate being very logical and having arguments that are sort of set in reality and facts over feelings, that kind of crap, right? I'm somebody who thinks that he prides himself over that, but I think that even this statement, you could argue, is a part of your emotions. You're basically just saying, I'm more logical than you, and this is an emotional argument in a way. And people who really cling to that idea don't realize that right away. They don't realize they're making their own sort of emotional argument. Facts versus logic. Or facts versus feelings. I'm sorry, I said it backwards. Facts versus feelings. They don't realize this itself is an emotional argument, and that's the irony of it, I suppose, or the hypocrisy of it. Boop. I'm so logical. I'm not any Abrahamic religion. I'm shamanistic. I'm a hedonist. I'm just saying things. Vivid Spirit says, yeah, we want Charge Blade. Give us Charge Blade. I will change my weapon to one of the defender weapons. You guys choose what we use, okay? There's one show that's interesting. That's Dr. Phil. Actually, I've never cared too much about Dr. Phil until PewDiePie started reviewing Dr. Phil. And then Dr. Phil became my favorite. That is the power of PewDiePie right there. That's when he's at his best, is when he takes somebody like Dr. Phil, this guy you forget even exists, and he somehow makes him funny and relevant in a very short period of time. Yeah, so Dr. Phil, now he's an internet meme. That's exactly what, if you think about it, that's what the other guy did. Phil Spencer with the Flex Tape, and it was Jontron. So he made Phil Spencer sort of an internet celebrity, and this is really, I don't know, it's like it's a very interesting aspect of being an influencer. You're an influencer when you make somebody famous. Stab you in the head. I think the most amazing thing is that science fiction is no longer fiction. Nowadays, it's not so much a question of what can be done, but what can't be done. A lot can't be done. I don't think we are as advanced as we think we are. Our science and technology makes us feel advanced, but really you're just playing a 2D image on a screen. That is all this is. This is not even 3D. You guys think that the gaming engine thinks that is 3D? It's not. The gaming engine is moving a 2D picture around. And because of shading, it looks 3D. The actual gaming engine is all done in 2D. And so yeah, for a computer, there is no such thing as 3D. It doesn't exist. There's no 3D video game. None of them exist. Really, this is just good art. So it feels 3D. Yeah. That's something you guys might find interesting. And then medically, it's like there's so many things we don't have a cure to yet. You know, there's so much stuff. We're injecting our butts with silicone. That's not that's not like advancement, to be honest. we're injecting our butts with the silicone, and you know, that's very similar to me. It's very similar to like foot binding. You know, when you damage your healthy body in order to be more attractive to society, it's basically foot binding. I see it very similarly, but foot binding is no longer in season. It's no longer exciting in what everyone wants. Now you have to inject silicone into your ass. So that's not really that advanced either. I think that we've done some really marvelous things with the internet and with space and with airplanes and engineering. But we're actually still quite, in my opinion, we're still far away in terms. There's a lot of mathematical problems we haven't solved. There's a lot of mathematical problems we haven't solved. Our computers are still binary for the most part. You know, so we have issues with energy. We're still using fossil energies, which I don't have a problem against oil and coal, but it's like you can't infinitely do coal. You can't infinitely do them. Is my issue here. So there's still so many issues to talk about and to solve. It doesn't actually feel like we're that advanced, and that's part of the whole issue of you know, are we in paradise yet? No, we're not. We're still in reality where you have to follow the rules and be realistic about the things that you want. Will you inject my butt with foot and silicone? Oh yeah, we're coming in with a good foot and a good silicone. How about those guys? What do you guys think of those guys who put the mineral... He fainted me with just one explosion? I know I was missing a little bit of health, but damn, that was a lot of damage. But anyways, the guys who put the mineral oil into their arms to appear as if their arms have larger muscles than they really do. What do you guys think of that? That's pretty wild. What do you guys think of that? Jesus. Wellick says, science is evolving just as fast as people are devolving. Humans have a really amazing imagination. We have a very rich and interesting imagination. And what's so great about being imaginative is you're able to escape reality, right? And then you're able to bring your things that you've imagined into reality. That's what's really so great about human imagination. But it's like there's also only so much you can bring into reality. Right? And maybe we'll have the technology to change that someday. Who knows? but there's only so much you can do. And that's why I was saying our technology is actually pretty primitive if you're looking at it realistically. You want bigger boobs? Or you're a dude and you want boobs? They literally just take plastic, cut a hole in your skin, and they shove that plastic into you. That's it. That's a boob job. Imagine the future when we might be able to open up somebody's brain, drop an electrode into the brain, right? A little electrical signal, and make them better at self-control. Now that's technology. That will change everything. We still make babies just randomly with each other. Like, oh, you look good, I look good, let's have some babies, right? Or actually, in a lot of cases, you look ugly, I look ugly, let's have 12 babies. That's how it feels sometimes, doesn't it? It's like all the people you think shouldn't be having children are like the ones who have no control over their sex impulses, so they have all the children. But anyways, yeah, so imagine a future where we actually control how our children come out to be healthier, cancer, they have better genetics for living a longer life, maybe having more beauty, more facial structures that we appreciate as beautiful. And again, the issue of like self-control and intelligence, IQ. IQ is a real thing, right? So imagine being able to have science make your baby just smarter. That's pretty remarkable. Why are we working on that right now? That seems like a big deal. Some of the things we want solved in society. Everyone wants to live in the middle class. You want to have a home, you want to have food, you want to go on vacation, you want to have some toys. That's we call that the American dream, right? But actually it's really just everyone's dream. Everyone kind of just wants to live a peaceful life, full of toys and good times and good memories. No, nobody's asking for. Some people ask for more than that. For example, I want a yacht, but nobody's really asking for more than that as an entire community. Usually, when you have big problems in your politics, is because your economy sucks, and people can't get jobs, and they can't live normal lives. That's when everything starts to go bad. That's when everyone starts to fight. Right? It's a very serious issue. Recessions, depressions. And then everyone finds a reason to hate each other and to distrust each other. Like, don't forget this. After World War I, before the Hitler and the Nazis arrived, and they're like, we got to get rid of the Jews, they're not loyal to the state, and all this bad. Well, Germany was having hyperinflation, and they were struggling with all the rules that were set on them and all of the payments they had to make back to the other countries, the Allies, after World War I. So it was very fast for Germany to become violent and unhappy and unsatisfied with their quality of life. Well, if everyone was just prosperous, you could even wonder if people would have been interested in war in Germany. What if everyone was just wealthy in Germany after World War I? Everyone would be, I don't want to go to war. I don't want that. So I think that people start to get very violent and combative when there's not enough to go around. And this hierarchy emerges of the winners and the losers. And the loser, if there's too many losers at the bottom of the hierarchy, they're like, all right, time to overthrow the bourgeoisie. That's what happens, right? And, oh snap, we just got a KO. So it's very interesting. There's a lot of solutions still to work on in society. And going back to what I was talking about with really, you can't stop drinking. The doctors just pop your brain open, drop an electrode in, and next time you go, oh man, I shouldn't, a good person, try to be moral. Well, all of this social pressure and all of this religious pressure, like, oh, you're going to go to hell, all of that's there to try and motivate you into doing what you're supposed to be doing, right? That's the whole point of it all. And it's because since forever, humans have been struggling with doing what you're supposed to be doing. So the idea that maybe in the future, some little device could be popped into your brain and all of a sudden you just have the willpower to do what you're supposed to be doing. Wake up in the morning easily. You're like, 6 a.m., time to get ready to go to work. I'm not even going to hit the snooze button. The idea that we could reach that point as society, everything will change if we reach that point. It will be amazing. Everything will have changed if we reach that point. And I would love to see us reach that level of technological advancement. And then going to that other issue, right? We're talking about designer babies, being able to go in and genetically change your child to look the way you want your child to look. But most importantly, perhaps being able to make your child smarter. That's a huge deal, being able to make your child smarter. Oh, I thought he was capturable. Oh, he's paralyzed. Wait a second. There we go. I thought he was in a shock trap. He was paralyzed. So being able to make your child smarter, well, if every generation of children does this, so let's say you and I have children, like you and I literally will have children together. But let's say you and I have our spouses, and they together we all have children, and we're raising our children. Well, let's say that we have designer babies; they're all higher IQ, and then they have designer babies, and they're all higher IQ. Think about how that would affect the human population, having our IQ go up and up and up. That would be crazy. That would be terrific, because we also know that science becomes more and more complex the more we discover about it, right? There's more to learn today than there's ever been that you would have to learn. And yeah, so there's all these technological solutions that I hope we do discover soon in the future. Wellix Kiba says, having baby daddies is a new career. Having baby daddies is a new career. Oh no. I would say also, though, on the flip side of that point of view, Wellix, not only does having baby daddies is a new career, I would also say having the government support your polygamous relationships is a new career as well. So if you have a man and he has a baby with one woman, and then he has a baby with like 2 more women, and the state supports those women, you are basically paying for him to have 3 children rather than you paying for your own children. See the issue here? So all of the welfare for women, it's literally you paying for other men to have children. And usually it's a guy who has no control over his sex impulses. So you're paying for some other guy to have kind of this fiat polygamous relationships, right? He's going to have 3 wives, but he's not married to them. It's like worse than if he was actually polygamous. Like if he was actually polygamous and he had 3 wives and he was responsible for all of them, more power to him actually, whatever, as long as you're taking care of all the children. But it's actually this worst thing where he doesn't have a relationship with all 3, he breaks up with them, and then you and I pay for the children. And oh, the poor children. Oh, this other man gets to have 3 children and you don't. And you get to pay for it because, oh, the poor children. Dude, you guys are so naive if you don't realize the children are a huge sort of wealth for him. It's sort of a natural wealth, right? It's a Mother Nature kind of wealth. He's wealthier than you. He has 3 children. And he's not even paying for them. You're paying for them. The welfare system's paying for them. And, you know, he might be paying child support as well. But, is very serious. It's sort of a fiat polygamy, and it's the worst kind because he gets to have 3 children with 3 women, and he's not even responsible for taking care of all 3. You are actually, through the government. You're responsible for taking care of them, and then you find out. Well, how many single mothers are there in 2020? Let's find out. I'll look up 2019. How many single mothers? 2019. In 2019, there are about 15.76 million children. You got that, guys? Roughly 16 million children living with a single mother in the United States, and 3.2 million living with a single father. So roughly 19 million children living with single parents. Holy shit, man. That's so bad. That is so bad. That is really shockingly bad. 20 million children. You guys are paying for it. You want to be able to afford social programs? You know what would be interesting? If you wanted to afford more social programs, we could. If people stopped having children and being single parents, and then, you know, relying on the state to provide for their welfare. So if people would just get their act together and wait to have children until they're more certain, okay, you know, like maybe if there were like 5 million single parents or something, whatever. 19 million? Oh my God, that's way too many. That's way too many. 19 million. It's hard to appreciate that number because you can't see the children. Like imagine if you could take all the children, all 19 million of them, and put them in and a big crowd outside, you would realize just how many children you pay for with your taxes. Instead of having more money go into research for cancer, instead of having more money go into education, more money go into, I don't know, socialized healthcare. Instead of that, we're paying for everyone else's shitty sex life, terrible sex choices, terrible mating choices, terrible partner choices, low quality dads, low quality moms. We're paying for that. We're basically paying for people who are struggling to be good humans. And I get it. Again, it's not like I would ever expect humans to be perfect. I really don't. I think that some people will just discover they got with the wrong partner. Maybe they were a little naive. Being monogamous maybe is too challenging for some. I get that. Turns out maybe somebody was abused as a child and now they're a shitty parent and you split up with your partner. I get all of that. Totally do. 20 million is too many. That's the bottom line. Okay. So it's just one of those things where it's just like the U.S. debt. You look at the debt and you're like, that's too much debt. It's the same with the single parents. Too many of them. So what's your, we need a solution. And yeah, you guys pay welfare on that rather than having money go into all these other things we would rather be spending our money on. It's really sad. Balto says more children is good for government, more voters, taxpayers, soldiers. I agree, actually. More children would be good for your government. Would you say an infinite number of new children would be good for the government? Well, let me ask you a question. So let's say you could have 100 million fresh children for your government, but 75% of them are borderline mentally handicapped because they're just that stupid. They're really dumb kids with low IQ. They're not being parented very well. They're not being taught manners. They're not being taught good business sense, and they're mostly just being taught you need to ask for handouts, perhaps. I don't know. I'm just coming up with stuff here. Would you actually think that that's good for your society? What if you could trade that out for, instead of 100 million children, what if you could trade that out for 50 million children, and they're all really intelligent, and they're all well-mannered, and they all understand that they need to operate businesses to compete globally, and they all understand that they need to invest and take care of themselves so that they can give money to the future children rather than asking for the state to pay for all their things? Which one would you rather have, 100 million children or 50 million children? It turns out the 50 million children who are productive are actually the children you want. So the idea that government needs children isn't actually necessarily true. Government needs the right children. Just like businesses need the right workers, schools are looking for the smart. Schools don't just take everyone, right? Harvard doesn't take everyone. Harvard takes the smart kids. So I would argue having quality parenting, quality partners, quality, all of that stuff is very important. Very, very, very important. It's an issue of controlling your future. That's what it is. It's an issue of controlling your future. And I one of the things I've always felt people underappreciated is how we got here. America is a really nice place to live. A lot of places in Europe actually are a wonderful place to live. I'm telling you guys for sure, we severely underappreciate how much work our ancestors did to make these countries a nice place to live. You happen to be born in it. It's nice. Huge buildings, financial structures, security, armies, government. None of that happened by accident. It's a monumental amount of work. All of our ancestors did this for us. And you underappreciate it. And you don't realize if you don't control and make smart decisions for your future collectively as a society, you will lose it. Because if you look around the world, there are places that are really shitty to live. What's the difference between your country and their country? It's not location. The location doesn't matter that much. Location could probably affect it a little bit. But I mean, look at Switzerland. Switzerland's barely got any land. They don't have oceans, none of that stuff. They don't have like all these wonderful natural resources. They didn't need it. They went into banking, finance, and they went into software. Two of the most brilliant things you can go into, right? And now they're one of the best places to live in the world. So the land didn't matter. What you did as a people matters. Same with Japan, right? Japan's actually a very small island. And yet somehow, even with their receding population, they're the third largest economy in the world. How are they doing that? It's their choices that they're making as a society. And I guess the point is something you guys all probably would understand through common sense, that your society, your choices really do matter. It's not just a game, right? So what kind of policies you implement into your country really does affect your quality of life, but also your heirs, your children and your grandchildren. 100 years from now, they will be doing the same thing I'm doing and going like, what did our ancestors leave us with? And that's why it's so important to appreciate your ancestors and kind of to honor their ideas and honor, your tradition and your history. Because if you don't do that, it's almost too easy to make bad choices in life. What was it? There was like 19 million single parents. I will tell you why they're single parents. It's because they just made not so great choices. Not all of them. A lot of them though, probably just made bad choices. And I think most people would agree they would prefer to be a two-parent family. It's just an issue of the quality of your life, and you can make better choices and control your life better to have better outcomes. It's just work and commitment and all that. And again, it goes to a national scale. It goes to the scale of your whole country. You would hope that your country in the future is a much better place to live, and you've made the technological advances and had economic surplus and prosperity. You would hope for all those things. I think that people need to be reminded that it's very easy to fail too. We love to obsess over like success stories. We never really talk about big failure stories. We usually ignore those and don't think about it. This was something I noticed, like when somebody would write like here's how to do business, right? That kind of book, that kind of story. It's always somebody who's had some wonderful success in life, and you don't look at all the people who actually failed and were big screw-ups. It's similar with countries, it's similar with everything. And I feel like it's just as important to examine huge failures, because not only is this a motivator, but it teaches you what you need to avoid doing as well. So the examination of big failures is such an important thing. There's marrying your waifu pillows. Not sure if Japan is a good example anymore. The society seems very lonely. I mean, rent a friend, rent a family. I think Japan, despite having a receding population, has a very strong culture. They have a lot of art, they have a lot of beauty, they have a lot of quality living opportunities for work. They have a sense of very strong community and identity. The idea that the human race has to continuously expand is a terrible idea. It doesn't actually make any sense. I think that the reason your population recedes is because people realize, I kind of just want to have one or two kids. And if there's ever a point where there's not enough children, really not enough, the government will create incentives to have children. But mostly, yeah. But anyways, I don't actually worry about Japan's receding population. I think the flawed thinking here is that, or very instinctively you tell yourself, oh, a receding population, that must be bad. That must be bad. It's not bad to have a receding population, in my opinion. You can have fewer humans on Earth and still enjoy a very high quality of life and have enough humans. Interestingly enough, receding populations is linked very closely to issues of like race wars. Your biggest concern is that, there should be more Japanese than, say, this other group. That's your bigger concern. You think that success necessarily means that the society is expanding, but that would mean all societies continuously expand. This would inevitably lead to a shortage of goods, a shortage of raw materials, and then this would lead to war. So having a sustainable number of people alive in your society is actually probably the future, if you think about it. It's probably the future. People are very sensitive to this. The whole receding population issue is I think is very much rooted in like a fear of being replaced by another population. Smack you in the head. Oop, he got me. She got me. U.S. spends roughly $400 billion a year on a federal level. The Japanese are an incredible society. Eric says, can't find it state by state. CK says, it's not that there's only having one or two kids. A lot of people don't even get into relationships, let alone have any kids at all. Right, and they can change that at any point. It's not like, here, I'll look it up. I'll look it up for you. Approximately, there are 129 million people of Japanese descent. You hear that, guys? 129 million. Let's say in 30 years, there's 100 million Japanese people left. That's still a lot of people. That's a crazy amount of people. 100 million. Again, you guys underestimate how many people that is, because you can't visualize what that would look like if they were all put into one big crowd outside in a big group. 129 million. If the population recedes, it recedes. Big deal. I think people fear, oh my God, how's our economy going to grow if we don't have constant population growth? It comes from kind of a misunderstanding of population, in my opinion. Oh, the mailman's here, I think. I wonder if my doorbell's going to go off. I can hear him. 1, 2. Don says, how many is Mexican? I'll let you Google that yourself. How many under 60, though? Depends on how fast your population recedes. Well, I feel like you guys think that the Japanese population is just going to be gone in like a week or something. It's not even close to that, right? So they're receding, but if it ever receded too much, again, the Japanese government would say, we don't want to disappear. Or the Japanese people would vote for a government official that would make sure that there are proper incentives for having children. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. Could you imagine being paid to have children? That would be terrific. That would be ideal. Instead, we're at a point where it's like, we're trying to control we're trying to have family planning, but we pay all these taxes, so we can't afford children, because other people who can't control how many children they have, and they're terrible at relationships, they go around having lots of children that they probably shouldn't be having. It's like the opposite of what you would want. So ideally, there would be good family planning. Everyone would be waiting until they're in solid relationships with a decent income to have children. And then, the government would then give you a gift to have children. That would be terrific. That would be ideal, actually. Instead, we have a system where you're struggling to make enough money, and the government takes, you struggle to get a good job, you struggle to make enough money to pay for all the expensive things like healthcare and education and all these other things. And Bernie Sanders says he wants to raise your taxes, and in the meantime, your taxes are being paid for another dude to have these sort of fiat polygamous relationships. That is a chaotic, horrible system. Very chaotic, horrible system with all the wrong incentives. Imagine a mother and a husband, and they don't even want to get married because they know that the benefits are better for staying separated. That alone is like, wow, why would that ever exist? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. And you know it exists. People who don't want to get married because their benefits are, oh man, I'm dead. Careful, guys, we're on our last life. Benefits are greater to stay separated than to get together. That's remarkably stupid. We should never have a system like that. It should always be a greater benefit to have two parents working together on one kid. Because when you don't have two parents working together on one kid, the husband is more likely to stray. He's more likely to go out and be like, well, I'm not married to her. I guess I can go have sex with this other girl, right? I'm not married to her. I can do what I want. I'll go get this other. And then he gets her pregnant on a stupid drunk night, right? Both drunk, making dumb decisions, right? So, yeah, I don't know. It's very frustrating, all of it. I feel like people... I think everyone means well. I just think that everyone has different solutions to problems. But I feel that it's very important that your solutions are very in touch with reality. You can't avoid reality. There's no way to avoid it. Diego says, you didn't read my donation. I'm so sorry. I didn't even see it. Hold on. Let me scroll up. Was it a... it made no noise. My laptop's turned all the way down. That's why. Diego, here, let me resend it. Thank you very much, Diego. That's very much appreciated. I'm glad you're playing Monster Hunter World again. We should have, hopefully, a monster reveal coming very soon. Hopefully on Saturday, actually. In fact, it could be in the middle of the night Saturday. So maybe... No, wait. There's an actual time. 6 p.m. Central Saturday, I believe, is the actual time. Is that right, Fan? I don't know if Fan's in the crowd. But yeah, thank you so much, man. Let me update the snack fund. I know, I've been kind of ranting, guys. If it's not apparent, I do love to talk. I could talk all day. Bit of a rant. Bit of a huge rant. We're talking about, well, what are we talking about? Parenting? I think we're talking about parenting and issues of receding populations. I don't actually think receding populations are an issue. I think a greater issue is having too many rewards for people who are not controlling and family planning. I think those are a much greater issue than a receding population. Really, if you think about it, a receding population could be a very healthy thing. It would give us a chance to work on becoming more sustainable, right? Some materials really are a limited, finite resource, right? Like fossil fuels. Even though we've got cheap gas right now because the U.S. is drilling like crazy, it is a finite resource at some point. So having your population recede, you don't have to have like 6 billion people on the planet or however many it is. It could be 4 billion. Would that really be so bad? Ask yourself, would that really be so bad if there were 4 billion rather than 6 billion people? It wouldn't be a big deal. It really wouldn't. And the houses would be cheaper because there would be already so many built houses, but there would be fewer people buying them. The houses would be cheaper because the supply would be high and the demand would be low. There's all kinds of reasons why having a receding population would be a healthy thing right now. Obviously, you don't want to disappear. And I think that's everyone's gut reaction. Everyone goes, oh man, I don't want to disappear. I want my people to do well. This is eerily kind of almost a racy thing to say, like a racist thing to say. Oh, well, I would hate if my race of people were declining rather than exploding in growth. But, if you want a peaceful world, you have to find a way to make it so that our limited resources are enough to keep everyone happy. It's like what I was saying earlier. When there's limited resources, a sort of competitive hierarchy emerges, and there are people at the top who are good at taking all the resources, and there's plenty of people at the bottom who are terrible at it. And if there's too many people at the bottom, that's when you have a war. That's when everyone starts fighting. And so, yeah, a receding population could be a very healthy thing. We're on the hunt. Do we have an assigned quest to do? Oh, we do. Let's get these done. If you have more old, no working population than young, working population, the young population needs to pay for all the old people. They don't, though. Just tell the old people you don't want to pay for their shit. Ta-da! That's all there is to it. Don't feel so guilty. Just say, I don't want to pay for that. Really simple. Am I playing? Oh, we do have people in here. Lord Killerath says, greatest Dodogama for master rank decoration farm and make him really small and capture all. What? Who has the highest population? Ooh, that's actually an interesting question. I don't actually know the answer to that. China. China is the most populous country with nearly 1.4 billion residents. Wow. Since India population is less than 50 million behind China, there could be a time when India surpasses China. Okay. Which are the 10 countries with the largest population? Let's see. China, India, United States, Indonesia, Brazil, Pakistan, Nigeria, Bangladesh, Russia, and then Mexico. Oh, but different countries have different growth expectations. Whoa, Russia's expected to have negative 2% growth. Nigeria is expected to have 62% growth. Jesus Christ, dude. Every single one of those countries, except for Russia, was growing in population size. So really think about that again, what I was talking about. A lot of people are convinced that the human population has to grow, and I think these are usually tied to sort of, to be honest, kind of racist sentiments. You think, oh, I'm of this race and I want my people to grow. If everyone did that, I swear to God, we're just going to go to war. There's not going to be enough stuff. If you had a receding population, it would not be such a big deal, is my belief. It would not be a big deal. And you could still have lots of people on Earth. You could have like billions of people on Earth. It could just be a few less billion. It's not a big deal. And so family planning, I think, is terrific. Just get a job, find somebody you love, save up a little bit of money, and then have children. It's okay if you have one less child over the course of your life, especially, if you ask yourself, like, how many children do I actually want? You know, most people do not answer like, oh man, I really want 6 kids. Most people say about 3, 2 or 3, right? Enough to replace yourself. That's what most people want, is a manageable number of children. And I think that that is actually a very normal and okay thing. And you shouldn't be so scared of. I think, yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting topic for sure. Contradiction, says Rocket Blade. What? Would not paying for the old people be immoral? No. You're told that it's immoral because that's how they get you to pay for their stuff. Okay? So anytime somebody tells you it's immoral for you to not give you their money, that is a trick to get your money from you. Really easy. See? So easy. Nobody tells you this. It's so funny. Nobody tells you that, but it's the truth. If somebody tells you it's immoral for you to not pay for their stuff, it's because they found a way to get your stuff. So you gotta get smart about that real fast. Dude, it's immoral if you don't pay for my grandma's shit. No, it's not. Nature does not require you to give anything. What even is immoral? Can somebody explain that? What is immoral? Does anyone know? Immoral is you paying for my grandma's shit, isn't it? Oh, look at that. He killed me in one shot. We're in the tempered fights now. My master rank armor is going to start to suck. You better pay for my grandma's shit, or you are immoral. Doesn't work that way. You just tell them to shut up. People feel entitled to government benefits. Oh, what? I missed something. Imagine you and your wife are only going for a single child, but get triplets instead. Oh, we would be happy with triplets, I think. That would actually be perfect. We'd have 3 children, and done with them all at the same time. I keep telling her if I could just have 3 women pregnant at the same time, we would have all our 3 children done at the same time. No, I'm just kidding. I don't tell her that. Balto says 3 kids is enough. Unless you're a farmer, then you need at least 8. Oh man, I was reading that comment, and now I realize I'm dead. People feel entitled to government benefits. Take it away, and you would cause a revolution. Guess why the people in France are protesting? Yeah, I don't know much about the French protests. I really don't. But right now, the French people are making a decision for their country, for better or worse. Hopefully for better. And time will tell them, if it was successful. Again, I was just talking earlier about how we underappreciate how we're in the future and we're in countries where we have success, and we underappreciate that the reason we have success is because our ancestors made correct choices. And now it's our turn to make a choice on how we want to be as a society, and if our choices are wrong, we're not going to have the same quality of life that our ancestors gave us. Our quality of life is going to go down. In a way, you might even argue it's already happening. Doot. I thought the French were protesting the corrupt banking cabal in their country. I don't know anything about their protests, unfortunately. I've heard that the protests are like a lot of things. How did that miss? He's KO'd. I thought the French were Oh, I already read that. Go ahead and soften the head again. Too early. Have you played previous Monster Hunter games? I played GU. That's the only previous game I've played. Oh, there we go. People think that the government are here to give them free stuff, but the only thing the government needs to do is protect its people. Well, I think people correctly assess that the government's capable of doing things for the community, right? So that's one of the points of having a government. Look at this, I picked up some scatternut. One of the things the government can do is tax everyone and then redistribute what it taxed to help people who are in need. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that's one of the problems with the conservatives is they also become inflexible and they think that you cannot help people with welfare programs. I think you definitely can help people with welfare programs. The question is how much? How much can you help? And I think that the answer is a complex answer. It's never a simple answer, but the answer is how much is everyone willing to pay to help their neighbor through the government? And is it more efficient to do that rather than to just have charities take that over? And also, do you agree with what the neighbors are getting? Do you agree with the amount of the taxation? Is it working? Is it effective? Right? So if you create a welfare system for single mothers, does it unsurprisingly create incentives for mothers to stay single? Oh. I didn't expect him to jump back down. So when you have the government paying for something, you usually are incentivizing more of that to occur, right? So in a way, you could say the government is subsidizing single parents. And so what would you expect? You would expect there to be more single parents, right? Because if being a single parent was actually more punishing, more people would avoid being a single parent. You would take it even more seriously. You'd be like, oh man, I'm freaked if I become a single parent. So it scares you even more and you avoid it even more. But if you're like, the government's got my back, somebody else will pay for my stuff. I'll figure it out. The government will pay for it. When you think that way, which inevitably you will, because once you're in a fight with your spouse, you're like, do I want to do this or do I want to be a single parent? You're in a fight with your spouse, and you're like, the government's got my back. And then what do you end up with more of? You end up with more single parent households. And this is just how it always is. It's like the whole milk and the farmer's cheese when the government was subsidized cheese back in the past. It's like, well, what happens when you pay for farmer's cheese? You end up with a whole bunch of it because the farmers are like, oh shit, the government's paying? All right, so we have all this milk that we're going to produce, right? You basically, and this is one of the reasons why the government's not that good at operating business. Government bureaucrats, they're voted into office. They didn't make it into office on a competition of their ability to distribute good farming goods, right? They're not put into a position for that. They got into a position of power by being a good, I don't know, what would be the right word for a politician? Being a good showsman? Being good at raising money from charity events or something like that, right? Of that sort. What the hell? Where's it telling me to go? It told me to go all the way over here. Oh my god. We're looking for Rathalos is what we're looking for. What if you prefer to be single as a woman? That's great. But you can certainly be single as a woman. Just don't ask me to pay for your children simply because you made a decision to be single. That's perfectly right. I think that if a woman prefers to be alone with her child, I don't necessarily think that's good for the child. I think most studies show that two parents are better for children. But if you want to be a single parent, that's great. That's your preference. Why does that mean that I have to give you my money now? Yeah, well, I'm alone, so now you have to give me your money. Nope. It really doesn't work that way. I don't have to give you my money at all. Of course, with the government, it doesn't matter what I in particular want. It matters what the group wants. So if she, gets the pity of enough people, oh, I'm all alone. You gotta pay for my stuff. Right, if she gets enough people feeling bad for her, then yeah, I will have to pay for her stuff because everyone will vote for me to pay for her stuff. Whoa, does this Raytheon look huge, or is that just me? This seems like a giant Raytheon. Boop. You're going into the wall. Brandon says, Gameconomist, you're starting to depress me. Sorry, man. A lot of serious talk. 2, 1, 2, 3. I think the event quest is called 50 Shades of White or something similar. What? I have known people that live in Section 8 housing with food stamps and got paid. What? Well, you're talking about abuse of the welfare system. Some of that definitely occurs, but probably it's not everyone's story that they abused the system. They probably worked within the rules. Do you guys remember, this was a big controversy in the news a few years back. One of the things that the Republicans wanted to change was what you could buy with the WIC checks, women, infant, child. That's what your welfare is, right? So WIC checks. And they wanted to change the rules so you couldn't buy stuff like, top quality steak, and you can't buy lobster with it, right? And I understand why they would. It's almost like a common sense kind of thing, because if you need the check, that's because you can't afford those things. So why would you be allowed to buy it? Because they can control what you can and cannot buy with the WIC checks, right? That's one of the things. They could be like, you can buy this, but you can't buy cigarettes with it, right? So they want to remove lobster and they want to remove steak from it. And that was a huge controversy on the news. I remember back thinking about it. I was like, damn, I don't even eat steak. Where's my WIC checks? Right, and that's your gut reaction, of course. Oh my god, dude. What the hell? That stupid run is so freaking effective. It's got like no wind up. It's just the monster literally runs in a direction and now you're hit by it. It's like as annoying as Tigrex. Alright, let's have our last meal. Our final meal. You're just small. She's not big. That's true. Is the hammer your favorite weapon? It's probably my favorite melee weapon, yeah. Cyberpunk delay. CD Projekt Red knows what they're doing. I'm sure it'll be a better game for it. It's delayed until September. Uh-oh, guys. That means the game's gonna suck. And I'm gonna be like, see, I told you. There we go. Wasn't sure if it was gonna happen here. Hold on. Alright, so we knew she was probably going to get KO'd there. That sucks. Alright. I gotta get her killed. I'm on my last life, so I gotta be careful. Gold Rathian and Silver Rathalos are supposed to be hard, I guess. I met people with brand new cars and houses who lived off of welfare and food stamps. They worked the system so they didn't have to work, and no one in that house had worked in 12 years. Actually, I had an experience with this as well. We had neighbors. It was neighbors who lived right next to us, and it was a man and a woman living together with their children, but they weren't married. And the mother received, basically, she received welfare checks for her 3 kids. But the father was actually working and earning quite a decent amount of money. So they would come home with like a brand new car, and they would receive, I remember because my parents would in private complain about how the system's not well designed. They would complain about it all the time. Hold on. Gotta capture this mofo. There we go. They would complain about this because the mother was receiving benefits. They lived in a house roughly the same size as ours. They lived directly next to us. They lived in a house roughly the size of ours, but here they are with a luxury car that we can't even afford. Well, we had a bunch of kids though, but they have this luxury car, but the mother's also receiving welfare checks. So it was kind of like, what? It was frustrating. It was frustrating. How's it going, Oofer McDoofer? David says he will never hold a position because people don't vote for the ones who make sense. That's right. I'm not allowed. What? What? Meanwhile, I can't even get financial aid for college. LMAO. That sucks, man. Wellix, but that makes them smart and in turn deserve the money due to their strats. What are we claiming now? Hey, Master Rank cap has been removed. All right, Master Rank 50. Nice. So we're making great progress. I think tomorrow we're going to be doing some guiding lands, and this depends on what actually happens. We're going to get an announcement from Capcom very soon about the upcoming there's an upcoming festival for the second anniversary. There's probably going to be a monster reveal, hopefully, and there's going to be a lot going on. Okay, guys. We're at 2 hours and 27 minutes. I'm gonna get the wave going. Woo! I know you guys love watching me do my optionals. It's like the most exciting content that you've ever watched in your life is watching me do my optionals. But let's go ahead and move over to my other channel where we're going to be opening up a ton of Pokemon cards, like a bunch. Azen says, I finally figured out what your openings for your videos is from a Lumpy Space Princess clip. LMAO. That's right. Good find. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead. I'll be back in about 5 minutes, maybe less, with the link to the second live stream. This will be on my other YouTube channel. All right, guys? Okay, so the other live stream has been queued up. Took me a little longer than usual. It was giving me trouble. Let me go ahead and send out invites to the people in the Discord, and then we will start up over there, okay? Oh, nope. I don't want to do that. Wow, my main channel is at 108,000 subscribers, everyone. Thank you so much for that. We'll go ahead and jump over here. There's like 30 people who will get contacted on the other server. It's pretty funny. Oh, my TV's turning off. What do you guys think we should have some background music for this one? Oh God. Okay, here, let's go ahead and unplug this. What are you looking at, kitty? You looking at me? Can't look at me, I'm the human. Do. All right, and we'll turn on some nice background music. I'll shift this over. All right, and we're ready to go. I'm gonna thank you all for. Oh, did I actually leave you guys the link? I'm trying to remember. Here you guys go. There's the link. I'm gonna go ahead and start up the other live stream. Thank you all.